Another one for the books, huh, Anya? Just when you think you've seen it all, a day like today rolls around.
Tell me about it, Ben. The ER was a circus. I swear I spent half my shift putting out fires.
And how do you do it? Seriously. You walk in there, chaos erupts, and you just glide, always so poised. My heart rate was probably higher than that tachycardic patient we had earlier.
It's not gliding, Ben, believe me. It's more like controlled flailing sometimes. But I've learned a few things over the years. Want to pick my brain? We've got an hour before the next rounds.
Please, consider me your eager student. I feel like I'm constantly teetering on the edge of a stress-induced meltdown lately.
All right, lesson 1. Acknowledge the storm, don't deny it. When things get tough, the first instinct for many of us is to fight it, to wish it wasn't happening. But that just creates more internal resistance. If you're feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, or even scared, admit it to yourself. This is hard. I'm feeling stressed.
I do that. Sometimes I even vocalize it in my head. This is a nightmare.
Good start. But then, instead of dwelling on the nightmare part, shift to what you can control. Because in every chaotic situation, there are always elements within your control, no matter how small. Even if it's just your breathing.
My breathing? You mean like deep breaths?
Exactly. It sounds cliché, but there's solid physiological basis for it. When you're stressed, your sympathetic nervous system kicks in, fight or flight. Your heart races, breathing becomes shallow. Consciously slowing your breath, particularly exhaling for longer than you inhale, activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. It literally calms your body down. I often do a 4-7-8 breath. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Even 3 or 4 cycles can make a difference.
I'll try that. I usually just hold my breath and hope for the best.
Not the most effective strategy in a code. Second point, compartmentalization. This is crucial in medicine, but it applies to life too. When you're dealing with a particularly tough case or a conflict with a colleague, you can't let it bleed into every other aspect of your work, or worse, your personal life.
But how do you just compartmentalize? It's not like you can put your feelings in a box and seal it.
Not permanently, no, but you can put them aside temporarily. When I leave a difficult patient's room, I take a moment, sometimes just 5 seconds, to mentally close the door on that specific interaction. I tell myself, okay, that was challenging, now focus on the next patient. It's about being present where you are, with who you're with, instead of letting your mind bounce between every single stressor.
So, a mental reset button.
Precisely. And it takes practice. It's not something you master overnight. Think of it like a mental muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets.
Another key element is perspective. This one is harder, especially when you're in the thick of it. But try to zoom out. Is this situation truly catastrophic in the grand scheme of things? Will it matter in a week, a month, a year?
Sometimes it feels like everything is catastrophic when you're in the moment, like that kid with the severe asthma attack today. For a few minutes, it felt like the entire universe was holding its breath.
And in that moment, it was catastrophic for that child and their family. But once the crisis is averted, once the patient is stable, the immediate urgency fades. You learn from it, you reflect on it, but you don't carry the weight of that singular event for the rest of your day or your career. It's about recognizing the intensity of the present without letting it define your future emotional state.
That makes sense. It's like acknowledge the gravity, but don't let it anchor you.
Exactly. And this leads to my next point. Seek support. Don't isolate. We're in a profession where burnout is rampant. It's so easy to bottle things up, to think you have to be this stoic, unbreakable doctor. But that's a recipe for disaster. Talk to someone. A colleague, a friend, family, a therapist. Just verbalizing your struggles can lighten the load significantly. I probably don't do enough of that. I tend to just stew. And then my wife gets the brunt of it when I get home, which isn't fair to her.
It's not, and it's not fair to you. We're all human, Ben. We all have limits. Sometimes just hearing someone say, yeah, that sounds really tough, can be incredibly validating. It reminds you you're not alone. What about debriefing after particularly difficult cases? Our department tries to do it, but it often gets overlooked.
We try too, but it often devolves into just reviewing the medical aspects, not enough focus on the emotional toll.
Which is a missed opportunity because the emotional toll is real and it accumulates. So if formal debriefs aren't cutting it, find your own informal ones. Grab coffee with a colleague, even for 10 minutes. Hey, how are you doing after that? It can make a world of difference.
I'll try that. You're right. I usually just power through, thinking that's what a strong doctor does.